Hey there, and thanks for joining me for this session. In this session, I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 things you need to qualify to buy a home, especially if you're going to be doing a loan. Like if you're doing all cash, then this video isn't applicable. All you need is cash, you're all set. But in regard to qualifying for a loan, there's a few pointers, a few things you're going to need. I want to walk you through that. Who am I? My name is Emil Belvin, and I am a realtor here in the Los Angeles area. And so these are my top 5. Number 1, of course, is going to be FICO score. Now you may be wondering where you need to be in regard to FICO score. I would say at least a 620 credit score is where I want you to be. That's what I advise my clients on. Let's go to 620, and if we can get north of 620, even better. If you're at 720, great. 820, excellent. But at least 620, we can get the ball rolling, helping you buy a property. Now that's not to say if you're at 560, we can't do anything for you. It's just going to be a lot more challenging at 560 than it would be at 620 or 720 or 820. So that's FICO score. 620 is where I want you to be. Now also in regard to the credit, the lender is going to want you to have some trade lines. What does that mean? That means that they want you to show that you're currently paying off some debt. Student loans, credit cards, car loans, things that are revolving currently, they're going to want to see. Those are things that lenders traditionally want, at least 3. And again, it could be any combination of those. Credit cards, car loans, student loans, showing that you're making minimum monthly payments at least. Second thing that I want you to have in regards to my top 5 is an income. Yes, I want you to have an income. That could be a job, that could be a business, that could be a eBay store, it could be whatever, but we need to be able to show an income. And how do you show an income? Tax returns we're going to need, as well as bank statements we're going to need. Those are the 2 things that lenders are going to traditionally look at to determine that you have an income. Tax returns, bank statements. So income is very important in regard to getting qualified. Now, you're also going to need some down payment. I don't ever recommend going out looking for a house and you're reliant on a no money down program. No, I don't advise my clients to do that. I want you to have some down payment. Now, down payment is one thing, but in addition to down payment, number 4 is closing costs, because those 2 things are part of the purchase process. So you have your down payment and different programs for that. 0% down for the veterans, grant money, blah, blah, blah. They're out there. But closing costs is also something that you need to have set aside in your budget, ready to use for the purchase. So that's down payment and closing costs. Closing costs, you may also be able to get some credit from the seller, but I don't want you to be reliant on credit from the seller to cover your closing costs. Now you may be asking, what is closing costs? Good question. Closing costs are going to be the fees associated with doing your purchase. Fees like title, escrow. If you're getting a loan, of course, you may have origination. You may have points on the loan, processing. Whatever city or county you're in, there are going to be county taxes that you have to pay. There's going to be insurance that your lender is going to require that's paid as well. And all those line items are going to be a part of your closing costs. Now you can get credit for closing, which is helpful, but again, I don't want you to be relying on that. So that's down payment as well as closing costs. And what's a good rule of thumb for those 2 things? I would say about 10% of the purchase price. That's not to say if you have less than that, you can't do it. If you have more than that, great. But again, just as a reference, a good starting point, 10%. So if I'm buying a $500,000 house, I want to have at least a good $50,000 set aside. I'm buying an $800,000 house, I want to have a good $80,000 for down payment, closing costs, and things like that. Now, if you got more, excellent. If you got less, not saying it can't be done. If you got $5,000, then you might need a little more money. Again, there's down payment assistance. I've seen people buy a house with $5,000, so it's possible, but it just makes it an uphill challenge. The more you have, the better. Again, the better the credit score, the more down payment, all that stuff, the more closing cost money you have, the better. Again, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I want you to have it. Okay? Last thing on here, and you don't hear a lot about this, but it's very important. The last thing I'm going to mention is called debt to income ratio. That's really what lenders are looking for when it comes time to qualifying you and pre-approving you for a particular loan, your debt to income ratio. Show you how it works. So for a conventional loan, typically they don't want your debt to income to exceed 45%. For government loans, they give you a little bit more leeway than that 45%. So let's take a gross income for the year, annual income of $84,000. Divide that by 12, $7,000 a month. So In regards to debt to income ratio, the max can be 45%. So all of that person's debt in this example cannot exceed more than $3,150, and that includes the monthly payment on the mortgage, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurances. So that means that that person's credit cards, car loans, student loans, and their mortgage, if I make $7,000 a month in this example, cannot exceed $3,150 if I'm doing a conventional loan. If I'm doing a government loan, VA, FHA, there's a little more leeway. They may go up to 50-55%. Talk to your loan officer to get more details on that. So we're talking like maybe $3,500, which is a little bit more. So that way you can possibly qualify for a little bit more house. Hopefully that's been helpful. Again, my name is Emil Belvin, and I am a realtor here in the Los Angeles area. Be happy to help you. Feel free to give me a call, look me up, check out my next video. If you like this one, like it, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Be well.